Sheryl Swoopes, this is kind of what you get for kind of not jumping on the tide, jumping on the boat. You were supposed to go and elevate with this whole situation. Your broadcasting career, everything, Sheryl. Your podcasting, whatever you do, you're supposed to be elevating. But instead, you decided to show hate, very clear hate towards Caitlin Clark.
Did you really think you could spread falsehoods about Caitlin Clark for an entire year and keep your broadcasting position? That's the question no one had to ask Sheryl Swoopes, because the answer is clear. She's been officially removed from all WNBA broadcasts for the 2025 season.
Got fired? But it looked like you got fired, bro. It looked like she got fired. I just gotta keep it real. It looked like she got fired.
Dismissal isn't about just one poor opinion or a single mistake. It's the result of a deliberate campaign targeting the WNBA's rising star. And the league has finally had enough curious about what actually happened behind the scenes. In this video, we'll dive into the details of the situation, how she's handling the fallout, and why she ultimately lost her job. Ready to find out? Let's get into it.
I won't be missing you broadcasting the games, because when you broadcasted the games, it was so hard for you to mention Caitlin Clark. How are you up there talking about, you kept mentioning, oh, the Indiana Fever are doing this. Oh, Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever. Oh, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and those girls are doing. Oh, you had such the hardest time mentioning Caitlin Clark's name. Why? I don't get it. I really don't.
Did you know Sheryl Swoopes has a history of getting fired before the recent broadcasting controversy? She had already built a concerning track record that goes back years, while her Hall of Fame playing career earned her recognition. As one of the WNBA's trailblazing stars, her career after basketball has been marked by a recurring pattern of troubling behavior.
Loyola University basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players.
College coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster has decided to...
The warning signs were impossible to ignore at Loyola University in Chicago. In July 2016, Swoopes was let go as head coach after a mass exodus of players, something that should have set off major alarms for anyone thinking of hiring her again. What kind of coach loses 10 out of 12 returning players in just one season? That's not typical turnover, that's a full-blown crisis in your program.
She mistreated players.
It was the environment she had created. I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel extremely small.
Head coach since 2013. Last year, 5 of her players reportedly transferred to different programs. And this year, a reported 10 of the team's 12 players aren't planning on coming.
Former Loyola player Kate S. didn't hold back when discussing Swoopes' coaching style. Just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're a great coach. She seems to thrive off drama. Wherever she goes, the drama is always there. Other players spoke about an emotionally unstable atmosphere where Swoopes would cry during games and practices, threaten scholarships, and share personal details inappropriately. Being a great player doesn't guarantee success as a mentor, and Swoopes clearly shows how that.
Former Loyola basketball player Kate Sohn says Swoopes caused the players to live in fear, that she routinely threatened that they would lose their scholarships or she would cut them from the team.
It made it hard to play. It wasn't about working hard and having fun anymore. It was about surviving.
The situation with Lauren Hibbert stands out as particularly troubling. Hibbert claims Swoopes pressured her into signing a medical hardship form, which ended her athletic career with the false assurance that she would stay on as a team manager. When Hibbert later found out she wouldn't even be traveling with the team, the sense of betrayal was complete. This manipulation led to formal complaints and ultimately played a role in Swoopes' dismissal. Fast forward to 2024, and we see the same dismissive and unsupportive behavior aimed at Caitlin Clark during her infamous February appearance on Gil's Arena. Swoopes couldn't even get basic facts right. She wrongly stated Clark was in her 5th college season when it was actually her 4th. She also claimed Clark took 40 shots per game, a gross exaggeration considering Clark averaged 22.
Back, Caitlin, if you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
What was even more telling was Swoopes' dismissive tone when discussing Clark's record-breaking achievements. She remarked, So is it truly a broken record? I don't know, I don't think so. When asked about Clark's potential in the WNBA, Swoopes bluntly stated, "Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not going to happen."
And then obviously you guys remember last year when Dallas had to pretty much say, hey, you can't broadcast an Indiana Fever game after the little comments and things you had the game before. Or something like that. Yeah, I believe it was that. And Nancy Lieberman was the one who pretty much confronted Sheryl Swoopes about the whole situation and let her know, like, hey, we got to keep it this, we got to keep it that. Keep it about basketball.
These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a year-long campaign that revealed more about Swoopes than about Clark. The pattern is clear: when others succeed or challenge her authority, Swoopes responds with hostility, rather than support. Whether it's college players transferring in droves, or a rising star shattering records, Swoopes seems unable to celebrate others' success without feeling threatened. This toxic behavior eventually caught up with her at the Dallas Wings, where her commentary became too controversial even for a league that usually defends its legends. The consistent threads between her firing at Loyola and her removal from broadcasting paint a picture of someone who has never learned to adapt or grow from criticism.
Sheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Sheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Sheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game.
The Wings broadcast controversy wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. It was about Swoopes making enemies in all the wrong places. When basketball royalty starts publicly calling out one of their own, it's clear something major is happening behind the scenes. That's exactly what occurred when Swoopes found herself in the crosshairs of two of basketball's most influential figures, Stephen A. Smith and Nancy Lieberman.
That's what Nancy was all about. She was keeping it very, hey, let's bring this women's game let's bring it all together. Let's grow this thing together. And the question was talking about how older people or older players in the league pretty much should going about what's going on in the league. And Nancy knows Caitlin Clark is the biggest. She's got the eyes. She's got the fans. Let's not try to sink it. Let's try to get on the boat with her. And let's grow together.
Stephen A. Smith never hesitated to speak his mind. He didn't just disagree with Swoopes, he dismantled her credibility on national television. In one particularly harsh segment, Smith directly questioned her motives for consistently failing to recognize Caitlin Clark's contributions to the Indiana Fever success. "Do you have any idea how that makes you look?" Smith challenged, his voice growing more intense. "How are you going to ignore Caitlin Clark?" What made Smith's rebuke so damaging wasn't just his massive platform, but his sharp insinuation that Swoopes' silence about Clark was intentional and unprofessional. Given her extensive basketball knowledge, her failure to acknowledge Clark's impact seemed impossible to just.
Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
Picking a fight with Stephen A. Smith was just the beginning of Swoopes' professional downfall. Nancy Lieberman, a broadcasting colleague and former friend, took things even further after hearing Swoopes' comments about Caitlin Clark. Lieberman reportedly called Swoopes directly to confront her about the inaccuracies in her statements. That conversation clearly went badly, so badly that Lieberman later confirmed their relationship was essentially over. The fallout was swift and deeply embarrassing. In a twist almost too perfect for maximum humiliation, Lieberman ended up replacing Swoopes on the Dallas Wings broadcasts. This wasn't just a simple personnel change, it was a public declaration of who held credibility in basketball circles. Lieberman's willingness to challenge Swoopes.
She's incredible. Congratulations to her and her family. Yeah. The crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal.
These explosive confrontations didn't just damage Swoopes' reputation with fans, they shut her out within the professional basketball community. When heavyweights like Stephen A. Smith and Nancy Lieberman publicly challenged your integrity, networks and organizations take notice. For the Dallas Wings and their broadcast partner, these feuds likely confirmed what viewer complaints had already hinted at. Swoopes had become more of a liability than an asset to their brand. With all this baggage weighing her down, how will it affect Swoopes in the 2025 season?
where he's like Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, probably eventually Caitlin Clark, where it's like individual people make an entire country tune into their sport.
1,000%.
Like hockey was never bigger than when Wayne Gretzky was playing it, and it was ridiculous how much it grew the sport.
Tiger Woods.
Remember when Michael Jordan's name was pure marketing magic, turning every product he endorsed into a must-have item? Well, a new star is taking the sports world by storm. And she's just out of college. Caitlin Clark has signed a deal so revolutionary that it's making WNBA veterans break out in a cold sweat.
Making her the first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball from Wilson.
But here's the truth: Clark isn't just selling merchandise. She's packing arenas to capacity. In this video, we'll unveil Clark's game-changing deal with Michael Jordan and break down why some WNBA stars on the sidelines are frowning in frustration. Stay tuned, because by the end we'll share Jordan's inspiring remarks and reveal the unique basketball statistic that only his royal heirs and Caitlin share. Ready to dive in? Let's get started.
Calling all Caitlin Clark fans, 2 new limited edition basketballs are now available at select Hy-Vee stores. The designs are part of the Inspire series that Clark is doing in partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. The tribute ball pays homage to Clark's time with the Iowa women's basketball team, and the Dreamer ball is designed to encourage athletes to pursue their dreams. Both are available in sizes 3 and 6 at select Hy-Vee locations.
Imagine a basketball star so exceptional that her gear flies off the shelves in minutes. Now picture the talent behind it all. That's exactly what's happening with Caitlin Clark's groundbreaking partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. This isn't just another endorsement. It's a transformative deal that's sending shock waves through the sports arena. Wilson has appointed Clark as the first female athlete to launch her own signature basketball collection since Michael Jordan back in the 1980s. Take a moment to let that sink in. We're witnessing a level of recognition and marketability.
And when you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, damn near 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark.
What makes this deal truly stand out is how quickly it exploded. Caitlin Clark's limited edition basketballs hit the shelves and disappeared almost instantly. We're talking tens of thousands of units gone in under 40 minutes. That's the kind of buying frenzy usually reserved for new PlayStations or exclusive sneaker drops. So why are these basketballs so special? Each one is a crafted piece celebrating Clark's legendary college career. Picture white and gold designs laser-etched with her most iconic highlights. There's the free, honoring her unmatched shooting accuracy. The record breaker, commemorating her history-making feats.
I knew Caitlin Clark was marketable, but she's been put over some pretty big names. In fact, some worldwide, huge, international names. 2 of them being Messi and Ronaldo.
Wilson didn't choose Clark just for her basketball talent. They recognized her as a cultural icon in the making. Amanda Lamb, Wilson's global brand director, put it perfectly. Caitlin Clark is not just a record-breaking athlete, but a cultural phenomenon reshaping the game. Think about the weight of that. Wilson has been the official ball supplier for the NBA for decades and took over the WNBA contract in 2020. Now they're making a bold bet on Clark to lead their women's basketball line. Clear proof that the future of sports marketing is shifting with her at the center. But here's the real game changer. Clark's deal with Wilson isn't just boosting
Caitlin Clark on a worldwide marketability list for athletes to be ahead of both Messi and Ronaldo is quite impressive. I mean, she's ahead of Steph Curry. Steph Curry is behind her.
They say numbers don't lie, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark, the numbers don't just speak, they shout. How can one player triple viewership? And what does that mean for the future of women's basketball? Let's break it down. Clark's influence on the WNBA isn't just significant, it's historic. We're talking about a player who's not just participating in
the idea of some players being jealous. Yes, that probably exists. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pro?
Let's dive into Caitlin Clark's viewership stats for a second. Her games are pulling in an average of over 1 million viewers. That's not just impressive, It's 3 times the WNBA's usual audience. Let that sink in. One player alone is tripling the league's numbers. It's as if she's holding a giant volume.
And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there, and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who Caitlin Clark is.
But this story isn't only about numbers. Clark is attracting fans who've never watched a WNBA game before. How? By playing with a flair and intensity you simply can't ignore. She's not just stacking up points. She's delivering highlight reel plays fans can't stop sharing. Don't just take it from me, though. Even Mike Breen, the legendary voice of the NBA,
They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they gotta be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they gotta be drama because they're jealous.
That's more than just a compliment. It puts Clark in the company of basketball's greatest legends. But here's the real twist. She's not only dominating on the court, she's also becoming a marketing powerhouse. Experts now rank her as the 4th most marketable athlete across all sports. Not just women's basketball, not just the WNBA, all of sports. That kind of influence reshapes leagues, sponsorships, and the entire future of marketing and athletics. So what's next? With Clark leading the charge, expect fresh sponsorships, primetime coverage, and a whole new wave of mainstream interest in women's basketball. But let's be real, not everyone is happy. Some veteran players are watching.
The reality is that, as far from a marketing perspective, Caitlin Clark is worth more than almost any pro basketball player in the world. If we're like purely talking about giving them money for endorsement.
A rookie storming into the league, shattering 62 records, and thrilling crowds sounds like a dream for the WNBA, right? Well, not everyone sees it that way. As Caitlin Clark's star continues to rise, some seasoned players are feeling the pressure, and it's not exactly comfortable. Let's be honest, the WNBA has fought for years to gain respect and recognition. Veteran athletes have poured
higher than the NBA. So I was like, oh, what's she gonna get paid? Because finally, you can get a real paycheck. And then I saw it, and I was like, this can't be right. Because this is what it is. In the first year, Caitlin Clark will earn $76,535.
And this isn't just about a few whispers in the background. The tension is real, and it's showing up during games. Some players are going at Clark with an edge that goes far beyond normal competition. It feels like they're sending her a message.
Whatever really happens with Caitlin Clark, I would say her big thing is to be ready for the WNBA season. People are like, why? She's only making $70,000 in the WNBA. What is the point of her worrying about that league rather than trying to push for other leagues and other ways to make more money? Because the WNBA is what's getting the most eye.
So why the friction? It's not a one-sided story. On one hand, Clark's meteoric rise brings massive endorsement deals and instant name recognition. On the other, there are veteran WNBA players who've spent years grinding for a fraction of the attention. The result is a visible divide within the league, one that's hard to ignore.
And it has also been reported that Unrivaled 3-on-3 League offered Caitlin Clark significant equity in the league and a salary that is over $1 million. So this is the first time that we've heard of any money being thrown at her. We've heard that it would be a major deal. It would be a similar setup as to what Messi.
Today we're breaking down the real story behind Caitlin Clark's fortune. Her WNBA salary? Just the tip of the iceberg. The real money is flowing from speaking events that actually outpace her on-court pay, game-changing endorsements with State Farm and Wilson, and a Nike deal that could spark serious drama. Let's unpack exactly how she's turning her stardom into serious wealth.
I think she's either one, if she shows up to somewhere, you're probably paying her $2,000 to $3,000 or $200,000 to $300,000, or it's free. I think she probably does a lot of things for free. Like, that would be my prediction, is that if she wants to be somewhere and she just wants to help out, she'll do quite a few things for free. But if she's not doing it for free, I would say her cost is crazy.
Today we're breaking down the real story behind Caitlin Clark's fortune. Her WNBA salary? Just the tip of the iceberg. The real money is flowing from speaking events that actually outpace her on-court pay.
You know, I love talking about Caitlin Clark on this show, and she participated in some kind of LPGA Pro-Am, drew monster crowds. There's pictures of just like everybody trying to get an autograph with Caitlin.
Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll see exactly why Caitlin Clark is on track to become the next powerhouse in sports marketing, and why some of the world's biggest brands may end up regretting not signing her sooner. Interview 27. Can you believe this? Caitlin Clark, the sensation lighting up the basketball world, is set to earn just $76,535 in her rookie WNBA season. That's less than what many entry-level office workers bring home. When compared to NBA salaries, the gap is staggering, sparking debates that players like Clark are being severely undervalued. But here's the catch. Her WNBA paycheck isn't the full story. For Clark, that $70,000 salary is simply the beginning. The league gives her something far more. Think about this. When Caitlin Clark buries a deep three or threads an impossible pass, you're not just watching brilliant basketball. You're watching a brand being built in real time. Every crossover, every dazzling assist, every buzzer beater is more than a highlight. It's another opportunity to showcase her magic, and trust me, the world is watching. So how does she turn that visibility into income? This is where it gets exciting. Her modest league salary opens the door to endless opportunities off the court. We're talking major endorsement deals, high-paying speaking events, and partnerships worth far more than her By now you've probably heard the chatter. Some argue Clark should skip the WNBA altogether and join Unrivaled, where she could pocket millions right away. But here's the twist, Clark said no. She's playing the long game. While Unrivaled may promise a bigger paycheck today, the WNBA provides something it can't match yet. A proven platform with loyal fans, nationwide exposure, and massive media deals. So when people point to her $70,000 salary, remember this. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Clark isn't just dominating the game. She's rewriting the business model for athletes. And her sharpest skill might not even be her jump shot. It's her voice. No, not post-game interviews.
So amazing. She's so sweet, so nice. It was nice to kind of get to spend some time with her. We've messaged a little on Instagram beforehand, but to get to spend some time with her and to see the influence that she has on people, bringing people out here, and to see how amazing of an influence she is.
You heard that right. Caitlin Clark is dominating the stage as much as the court. Her speaking appearances are already becoming legendary, and the numbers are staggering. Let's break it down. Clark's virtual fee starts at $100,000 for just 30 minutes. In less time than half an episode of a sitcom, she earns more than most people make in an entire year. For live appearances, companies are paying anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000, the cost of a house in some parts of the country, for a single event. In the past year alone, Clark has already taken part in at least 6 engagements, which means potential earnings well into the millions. And it's not only live appearances. Virtual events are also in demand, with top brands willing to pay premium prices for her words. But why are they spending so much just to hear Clark? It all comes down to her star power. Every game she plays in the WNBA grows her profile. She's not just an athlete. She's a brand, an inspiration, and a role model. Companies are buying into the influence she commands, the energy she creates, and the excitement she brings. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever offseason has erupted into drama. Rumors about NaLyssa Smith are swirling, and her tensions with Caitlin Clark are reaching a breaking point. The Fever had a season filled with highs and lows, but nothing prepared fans for what many are calling Smith's betrayal. Her recent actions have created friction, leaving questions about the Fever's future. It all started with a tweet. Smith posted a picture in a purple car with the caption, "Purple looks good on us." The post caught the attention of Paige Buchers, who responded with fire emojis. Smith's reply, "You just got to let them be delusional," sparked rumors about her commitment to the Fever. The timing was disastrous. The team had just celebrated Clark's record-breaking 35-point game, clinching a playoff spot after an 18-10 run following a 2-9 start. Instead of focusing on the team's turnaround, Smith's tweet shifted attention to internal conflict. Sources say Clark directly confronted Smith, questioning her commitment and pointing out her frustration with reduced playing time. During the regular season finale against the Dallas Wings, Smith started the game, scoring 8 points and grabbing 6 rebounds in 19 minutes, before being benched in the second half. Upset, she posted, "Fun while it lasted, babe," in response to her girlfriend's support, hinting at tensions with both teammates and coaches. The backlash was immediate. Fans flooded social media calling for her removal, using hashtags like #TeamCaitlin and #TeamNaLyssa. Many felt betrayed by her lack of loyalty, especially after her strong performances earlier in the season. Analysts debated whether her actions reflected deeper issues inside the Fever or were simply personal frustrations. Some defended her reduced role, while others criticized her professionalism and its effect on team morale. Head coach Christy Sides is caught in the middle. While she has promised to handle things privately, sources say she is worried about how this could damage playoff hopes. Several solutions are being considered. A team meeting to clear the air, disciplinary measures such as fines or a suspension, trade discussions even though Smith is under contract until 2026, or a public apology to ease fan outrage. For now, Smith is still active online, but her commitment is being questioned, especially as her production has dipped. She averaged just 10.5 points and 7.2 rebounds this season, compared to 15.5 points and 9.2 rebounds last year. Her minutes have also dropped from 30.7 in 2022 to 25 per game now. Though the Fever exercised their team option to keep her through 2025 with a salary bump, her future role remains uncertain. Many believe this will be her last season in Indiana. Whether this becomes a turning point or a source of division depends on how Clark, Smith, and the Fever move forward. At the same time, this controversy highlights the growing impact of social media on professional athletes, showing just how important it is to balance personal expression with team responsibility.